He said his phone was dead, just that, and out of pure kindness an elderly couple let him in. Hours later, their son, a man who saves lives for a living, found their house burning, and inside, his parents were gone, tied, stabbed, burned. Two people in their 70s who had lived long, decent lives, taken in the cruelest way. It breaks my heart, and it makes me angry. My name is Ezequiel Munoz, and I want to talk to you about more than just crime headlines. I want to talk about what's behind them, the choices, the dangers, and the lessons that touch every one of us. Because this story isn't just about one criminal, it's about trust, kindness, and how those very qualities, the ones we value most, can sometimes put us at risk. Police say the man responsible is 42 years old, with decades of crime behind him. He didn't break in with force. He used something far more powerful, a lie. He asked for help, and Frank and Maureen, 76 and 77, they let him in. They grew up in a time when you helped your neighbor, when you didn't assume the worst about a stranger at your door. That trust, that innocence, it's something beautiful, but it was turned against them. Their kindness was weaponized. The man who did this didn't stumble into violence by accident. His life shows a pattern: lies, manipulation, taking what he wanted, no matter who paid the price. Some people carry anger like a poison, and they look for the easiest target to release it. How does someone reach that point? In his world, human beings weren't people anymore. They were just obstacles, just tools. That's a dark place to live, and it leaves destruction every time. But let's stop and think about Frank and Maureen. They were someone's parents. They raised a son who dedicated his life to saving others. They weren't naive. They were kind. And that's the tragedy. Many of us have parents or grandparents with that same heart. People who still believe in the good of others, because that's the world they were raised in. But today, it's different. And as much as it hurts, we can't afford to let blind trust guide us anymore. Sometimes, saying no is the most loving thing we can do for ourselves and our families. We don't need to be heroes for strangers. If someone needs help, there are safer ways to respond. Call for them. Keep your distance, but don't hand them your safety. And here's the truth. Predators count on kindness. They know most of us don't want to seem rude, paranoid, or selfish. But survival isn't about being polite. It's about recognizing when someone is pushing too close, too fast, too hard. Trust should be earned, not given away at the door. Cases like this stay with me, not just because of the horror, but because they remind us how fragile trust can be, and how much we owe it to ourselves to protect it. If you want to understand more about how people like this think, I recommend a book that changed the way I look at crime, Mindhunter, by John Douglas. He's one of the first people who really studied the darkest minds up close. Honestly, I prefer the book over the TV shows. It lets you sit inside those real conversations, raw, unfiltered, and chilling in ways fiction can't touch. This is a book of timeless importance, and I left a link to grab it on Amazon for anyone interested in reading. Thank you for staying with me through this difficult story. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen. Before we finish, I just want to say hi and let you know how glad I am you're here. If you believe in learning these lessons, not just listening to the crime, but really understanding what it means for us and our families, subscribe, share this video, and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and stay tuned, because I'll be sharing more stories just like this, in the same format. Coming soon.